So I want to get deep with y'all here in this video because I'm feeling a certain way, and I just want to do a video expressing kind of how I feel. You know, I have talked in the past about certain things that I think about the world and about myself. And I know that when I was younger, and even to this day, I go online and I see people say, oh, you got to live life with no regrets. No regrets. I don't have any regrets. And it's interesting because I think I know what they're trying to say when people say that. I think I know that they're trying to kind of convey to people that they should never dwell on the past, right? That's what I think the message is, which is a good message. You should never let the past influence your future, right? Now, unfortunately, that's not how we are built as people, because as people, we're not built that way. We let the past completely consume our future. Like when you go through a breakup, for example, and you're so hurt that you don't want to date anybody else. Or when you lose a job, in a certain career field, you don't want to go back to that field again. Or if you get into a fight with one of your friends and you kind of become a recluse, or you don't want to talk to that friend when you know you can resolve the issue. We've all been through things like this. And I do agree that dwelling on the past is something that we shouldn't do, but we do it because it kind of creates who we are. As far as like a defense mechanism goes, it kind of molds us into the person who we're going to be. But it's also very unbalanced. When you're younger and you get abused, like verbally, physically, sexually, and I'm not saying that I'm the victim of any kind of these abuses. That's not what I'm saying, even though I was bullied. That is true. I've talked about that before, but I know a lot of folks who are. That changes them. That has an impact on them as life goes on. If you're younger and you get sexually assaulted, heaven forbid that. Nobody deserves to have that happen. When you grow up, you may end up not wanting to date, or you might be very promiscuous. There have been studies about this. So that's fine. But that's not what I'm talking about here. I think the idea of us living with regrets, people who say, well, I don't have any regrets. I think that's BS. That's a very dangerous way to live. At the same time, though, I can't tell them that because it works for them. If you saying I have no regrets is something that helps you sleep at night, and it's something that helps you continue to live your life, that's fine. Even though I feel that we should have accountability as people, if you really feel that way, who am I to stop you? I just think it's BS. I think that we have to have regrets, because if we don't have regrets, we can never see what's wrong with us and improve on it. I got regrets, and I'm not really ready to talk about all of them publicly, but I have a lot of regrets of things that I've done, things that I've said, both online and off. And I have regrets about all kinds of stuff. The way I treated people and the way I treated my friends sometimes and others in my life. But, I sit here and I wonder, should I dwell on that or not? And I know that people say you shouldn't, but the problem with somebody like me who has a lot of, insecurities and anxieties. I have a lot of anxiety. It's weird. I'm a very complicated person because I have confidence in a lot of things. I'm very confident, sometimes overconfident, but I also have a lot of anxiety and fears. And sometimes this anxiety is unfounded. Sometimes the anxiety doesn't make any sense. When you have anxiety, sometimes it doesn't make sense. You're basically afraid of things that haven't happened yet, that may never happen. You're afraid of losing your job. You're afraid of going broke. I have that anxiety. I will admit that to you. I am afraid of losing my money and going broke. You're afraid of being lonely. I have that sometimes. And I just want to make this video to kind of express that, if somebody tells you no regrets. If they live their life like that, that's fine. But I think regrets can be healthy. Because I think that with regrets, it really tries to shape you into being a better person. And that's what I'm trying to be every day. But it's hard because when you have like toxic shame and when you have certain problems that, you didn't even realize you had until recently, which is my kind of thing, you tend to sort of put it aside and kind of hyper focus on something else. For me, I hyper focused on my channel, my career, my life as a content creator, which has helped me be happy, at least in a career sort of way. But it's also hurt some of the interpersonal relationships that I've had in my life. And it sucks. Like, maintaining balance in life is not easy for everyone. And it definitely isn't easy for me. It never has been, really. And I regret that. I really do. I regret it. Even though one will sit there and say, and this is sort of a existential crisis type thing here. Even though people will sit there and they'll say, oh man, you can't really have regrets because you're not really in control. And what I mean by that is not just like in the idea of there being a higher power, but more so in control of, other people's feelings about you and whatnot. But, and I see that point, but like, people will say, hey, you did make a mistake, but if you didn't make those mistakes, you wouldn't be where you're at. Or even though this mistake cost you this, you at least got this. But I just don't see it that way sometimes. Sometimes there are true regrets. Sometimes you do stupid stuff that you really wish you hadn't done. That if you had a time machine, you can go back and fix. Like be mean to a person or say something you didn't mean to say and not even be considering of their feelings. You know what I'm saying? That happens. I've done it. And I'm not proud of myself for it at all. And I feel like the best thing to do, and I'm not giving people advice on this video, because truth be told, this is a situation where I don't know the answer to it, but I guess the best thing to do is own it and just own your regrets. Privately, accept it, come to terms from it, learn from it, and I guess try to focus on the present and not the past and the future, which is funny because I preach that to people. I try to help people because it's worked for me in the past, but there's always something. You know what I mean? It's funny how life is. There's always something there that sticks in your life. In fact, there are some regrets that I have that I might never get over. I might never, ever, for the rest of my life until I'm in the damn grave, ever stop thinking, what if I had done this? What if I had approached it this way? What if I had thought about this? What if I had thought about that person's feelings, etc., etc.? How do you deal with regret? And if you don't have any regrets, again, I think that's very dangerous, but at the same time, I have a weird kind of respect for you. You know what I mean? And maybe it's not respect, maybe it's envy. Because I wish that I didn't have any, but I do, and I hate, one of the things about life that sucks is that you have to make decisions. You know what I mean? And I've felt in the past that I'm pretty good at making decisions, but I'm really not sometimes. In fact, I would say 60% of the time, maybe more, I'm not very good at making decisions. Maybe more than that. Actually, now that I look back, probably like 75%. I'm not good at it. And it leads to pain that I have caused for myself because I didn't, I guess, analyze all the perspectives. I don't really know. But I want to know, how do you deal with regret? How do you handle it? What do you do? And do you have any? And do you have any that you'll never really get over? I want to know if you're willing to share it with me. because I'm going to read the comments on this for sure. I read the comments on every video, but like on Geekdom 101, I'll get like 10,000 in a video, and I can't even read all of them after a couple of days. This one I will, because it's definitely something that I'm thinking about a lot more lately. So let me know. Talk to y'all soon. And remember to take care of yourself and each other. For real.